My coffee grinder broke this morning and I thought, well, why not replace my filter coffee machine and coffee grinder with an all-in-one, or bean to cup as it's known, coffee machine. So I went to Hughes Electrical this afternoon and bought this Russell Hobbs Platinum Collection grind and brew coffee maker for about £84. So I'm going to open this, see what you get inside, make a cup of coffee and see whether or not this is any good. It has a digital program control, which basically just means you can set a timer for when it's going to do the bean to cup and grind the coffee and make a fresh brew. Fine to coarse bean grind setting, so you can control how fine the coffee beans are going to be ground up. 2 to 10 cup size selection, which is pretty good, although in my experience this is sort of double an actual cup size, so 10 actually means that it can make 5 normal cups of coffee, I guess 10 small cups of coffee. Large 10 cup capacity, so I mean that's just basically saying the same thing. Stylish glass carafe, I don't know what that is, I think that's the glass thing that the coffee goes into. Permanent removable filter, so you can change the filters on these, and use with beans or ground coffee, so you can either put beans in the top or you can put ground coffee straight into the machine. Right, I've got my trusty pen knife. Let's open this side here, being careful not to cut anything inside the box in case there's something near the top there. This side, and then down the middle like this. So there's a £50 wine voucher in there, which I'm probably not going to use, to be honest. We've got the instruction manual here, which shows you the various components inside the coffee machine and how they fit together. And there's a whole load of warning things here. Don't immerse it in liquid. Children must not play with it, that sort of thing. And guides for doing the various things. Now this does actually have a 3-year guarantee. If you register it online here, if anything goes wrong with this machine in 3 years, then Russell Hobbs will replace it. So that's good to know. And there's also a prize drawer by the looks of it on the back. We've also got inside here the power cable and a great big polystyrene block. Okay, I'm going to lift it out so we can take a closer look at it. This polystyrene bit is determined to stay on the bottom there. I don't know how I'm going to get that off. Oh, I think I'll do that, that's probably best. And we've got some plastic around it, so let's just take that off. Oh, that's come off. So inside this we have a little piece of paper with beans on it, so I'm guessing that's where the beans go. And carefully packaged in here we've got the glass thing that the coffee goes into. So you can rotate this to control how fine or coarse the coffee grind is. And just to the right of that here is a flap that when we lift up, this is where we put the water in. And I quite like that they've actually put water levels in there so that you can put exactly the right amount of water into the machine that you want to. Although another way of doing it is to just fill up the glass thing to the level you want and then pour the water in. This coffee machine feels well made. I like this brushed aluminium on the front here. Incidentally, you open this panel here by pressing this button on the side like that. I think it's time to plug it in actually and make a cup of coffee. The coffee I'm going to use is this Taylor's of Harrogate rich Italian coffee beans, and I buy a kilogram bag of this from Amazon for about £12, and I found that this is excellent value for money and it tastes nice as well. Before we make a cup of coffee, we're just going to run it through with water just to clean it out. So just as it states in the instructions, we're going to fill it up to the maximum, which is 10 cups of water, and then we press this button to start the machine, which is the button you would press if you'd filled it up with coffee grounds. And here we can see boiling water filtering into the coffee jug. And once this is complete, we'll know that the machine is clean and we can make a clean, fresh cup of coffee. Now that the system's been flushed, the next thing to do is to install the activated carbon filter, which you do like this. And this is going to filter out impurities and chemicals from the water. I found this coffee machine really easy to use. There's a nice big bright blue LCD screen which shows you in a really obvious way how you've got the coffee machine configured. You can select the number of cups you want to make, and basically this just controls how long the coffee grinder is going to operate for. Now obviously 2 to 4 cups of coffee requires significantly less coffee grounds than 10 cups of coffee. You'll actually end up with a very weak cup of coffee. So this machine actually has a button to make sure that if you have 2 to 4 cups of coffee, it's the same strength as if you were going to make 10 cups. You can also control whether you want your coffee mild, medium or strong, and also you can set up a timer so that the coffee machine automatically makes a cup of coffee at a certain time of day. Obviously though, this machine doesn't fill itself up with coffee and water, so you have to make sure you do that yourself first. So I've filled up the beans container with the Taylor's of Harrogate beans, and then you just press this button at the top here to start the bean to cup process. And although it sounds quite loud in this video, it's actually much quieter than the Krups coffee grinder I had before. Now I have actually edited the video because it does take a few minutes to grind the coffee and filter it. The coffee machine has finished making the coffee now. I've made 4 cups of coffee, which is actually just 2 cups of normal coffee basically. And because this is the first time I've used it, I haven't done it quite right. The coffee grounds will absorb some of the water, so you have to put slightly more in to make up for that. So I'm making a coffee to my preference, so I've put half a teaspoon of sugar into this cup, and now I can add the filtered coffee. Next I can add a few splashes of milk. Then I'm sure to give it a very good stir. If you don't stir coffee or tea properly, you'll just end up with a sugary mess at the bottom, and putting the sugar in will have been a waste of time. And finally, the taste test. Well, it's delicious. I'm very happy with this coffee machine. It makes a lovely rich cup of coffee. It's extremely easy to use. I love the fact you can just put the beans into the container, set it going, and it does the whole thing from start to finish. I highly recommend this Russell Hobbs Platinum Coffee Maker. Thanks for watching.